Hello everyone, it's been a while. Today I'm here with the first yoke we produced. It's a force feedback yoke. I would say it's compact sized, it's relatively small. We got this box made of aluminum. This shaft is also aluminous, which feels pretty good, looks beautiful. And this control wheel is made of plastic. Almost everything inside the box and the control wheel are made of either aluminum or steel. Although it's small, we got pretty good moving range on both axes. We got almost 150 millimeters moving range on the pitch control, on pitch axis, and 90 degrees on either side for the roll axis. To install this yoke, you need to put 4 screws. There are 4 screw holes on 4 corners of this box. You need to screw the yoke on whatever surface you want. For some cockpit builders, when you install the yoke, you want all the main part behind the cockpit panel, so only the shaft is coming out from the panel. To do that, you need to take off the control wheel, install the main part of the yoke from behind the panel, and then put it back. Okay, it's very easy. On our yoke, it's very easy to do that. To take this control wheel, to take off this control wheel, you only need to lose 1 screw on the bottom of the control wheel. You need to use one 3mm hex key or screwdriver to lose the screw here. The screw won't come out; it will stay there, so you can put it back pretty easily. You just need to feel that the screw is totally coming out of the screw hole. Now it comes out the screw hole, and just push the yoke a little forward to give some room for the wire inside the shaft to come out. Okay, and you since the screw is loose, it's totally loose, you pull the control wheel slowly. Sorry, it's the screw is not totally coming out. Okay, it's coming out. You pull the control wheel slowly until it goes off the shaft, and you continue to pull it a little more, so you can see there is a wire here connecting the control wheel. Put your hands on the wire and unplug the connector for the wire like this. You see, this is the connector. This is the connector inside the control wheel, and that's it. The control wheel is taken off, and you do the opposite to put it back. You just first plug the connector back in with the control wheel. And you slowly push it back in until the control wheel sits firmly on the shaft, and you tighten the screw back. That's it. You have it assembled. Simple as that. Now let's take a look at the buttons. On the left side, there are 3 buttons and 1 trim control or trim switch, I guess. They are made of 2 switches actually, which you need to move them on the same direction at the same time to make them work, just like it is on a real plane. On the right hand, there's 1 button here and 1 hat switch here. The hat switch also have a push button, so on the right hand there are 2, in total there are 2 buttons and 1 hat switch. The power of the yoke is a 24 volts DC power with R7B connector. You need to pay a little attention on the direction of the connector when you connect the power to the yoke. On the back side, the switch, the power switch is also on the back side of the yoke. There is a green light on the switch indicating it is powered on. Now it's powered on, but there are no forces on the yoke. You can see I can move the yoke pretty easily. That is because the motors are not engaged until the yoke goes through an initialization process. You do that by pressing this button. The yoke moves all the way to the left, all the way to the right, all the way in and all the way out to confirm the full range for the movement. Now the initialization process has been completed. You can feel there are some resistance on this yoke. Means the motors are engaged. Please be aware that the motors can only be engaged when the yoke is connected to a computer. Means the USB cable of the yoke has been plugged into the USB port of a computer. Otherwise, the motors won't be engaged. If you want to disengage the motors when they are engaged, you just push these two trim switches into the opposite directions. Now the motors are disengaged. To get them back in work, you need to start the initialization process again. Now we are good to fly. The yoke will be recognized in the system as a force feedback game controller. And by the way, force feedback only exists in Windows system. If you fly X-Plane in Mac OS, you just don't have force feedback. Mac OS just don't support force feedback. Although the yoke is recognized in the system as a standard force feedback and control device, there is no native support for force feedback in FS 2020, and for most of the default aircrafts in X-Plane, there are no force feedback support. During our tests, we use a plugin called XP-Force to generate the forces in both X-Plane and FS 2020. It's a payware. It's not expensive, and I think it works pretty well. So you will also need to get this XP-Force plugin to get the force feedback really work in the games. This is pretty much what I want to say about our first force feedback yoke. It'll be in our online shop pretty soon. And that's it. Thanks for watching this video. See you soon.